Hi everybody, this is Dorothy Kilty at Raccoon Alley Creations. I'm going to be teaching some journaling classes at Who Gives a Scrap in Colorado Springs. What's going on here? Anyway, and I have to create a single signature journal, a simple one to show people how to do this. So I thought that I would just bring you along. So the first thing I did is I picked out some different papers, and I wanted to show just sort of a variety of papers, coloring book papers, plain papers, papers from magazines, graph paper, a digital that I had laying around, form paper, all kinds of things. I love this vintage paper with this embossing around here. A little bit of cardstock, all kinds of things. So I've put the papers in order, and what I've tried to do is spread them out a little bit so that I don't have the exact same thing right next to each other. So that's what you saw. Now, I'm going to use a file folder for this. When you're using a file folder, it doesn't feel like it's real firm, but for a single signature journal, it's great. And one of the things about the file folder is that you have these little scores already on them on the side. And so you can use that to, if it gets a little bit chunky monkey, you can use that to sort of let it open better. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut it the width I want. Now these are like 8.5 and 11 type pages for the most part. So I want them to be down like 1/4 inch on each side. And so I'm just going to figure out where that's going to be. Actually, I'm going to turn it around this way. And then once I have the size figured out, I just need to take the ruler and X-Acto knife and cut it. Let me see. Okay, so I have a ruler here, a metal ruler, and I'm using the lines on my mat to line things up to keep it straight. So now I'm just going to continue to make cuts until it's cut through. Okay, not quite cut through, but I can see on the break. Now, by the time I'm going to cover this with fabric. I'm going to put some paper, something on the inside, and of course that'll all be glued down. And all of that will help add support and heaviness for this. Now, I'm going to make a folio. So I'm going to take, the middle is right here, but I'm going to move over a little bit to figure out where I want to put this. And then I'm going to cut it. Again, I want it cut a little bit. I don't know, that's arbitrary, but I want it cut right there. So once again, I want this to be lined up on one of these lines here straight. Okay, and then I can go to this and see I'm about 1/4 inch. So let me just move this over a little bit so I'm right on the line. And now I'm going to move this around. It's easier to cut against this on the slanted ruler. It's easier to cut it, get my fingers out of the way by using the longer slant line here. Okay, now there. Now, I think it would be fun for this to fold over and have a closure like that. So, since I have the space, I'm going to do that. And here, I'm going to go ahead and use a scoreboard, but you don't have to do that. You can just fold it. And I'm going to make about 1/4 of an inch difference here to give it a little bit of room to wrap around the signature. Okay, so I'm going to put this line, the edge of this, right on the 1/4 of an inch here. Actually, I'm going to put a tiny bit to that side and go there. Either I don't have this straight. Let's try that again. There we go. And then I'm going to go over, I'm going to go 3/8 of an inch. So 4 of these little lines is 1/2 an inch. So I'm going to come back 1 and go score down here, okay? So now I just fold these. And then I'll have a nice little journal folio wraparound, okay? I can either cut off this tab here and make it straight, or leave the tab on. For right now, I'm leaving it on, but it may be easier to cut it off so for when I wrap it with fabric, okay? Now, for wrapping it with fabric, I have this pretty fabric. Okay, so I want the fabric to be a bit longer, you know, so I want it to turn in a little bit. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do like 1 inch to make sure I have plenty of room here. And I'm just tearing the fabric. Okay. Now, these are fat quarters, and sometimes with fat quarters, they're not exactly on, you know, perfectly aligned. So, you know, I think for this one, I am going to go ahead and cut this tab off. So let's just do that right now real quick. Okay, and then let's see about the width. Same thing, I want these to come over 1/2 an inch to 1 inch, something like that. So, I really made it too high, didn't I? So let's just figure out about where it's going to be. Let me tear this, and I'm going to get this a little closer. Yeah, this is too big. Kind of a shame, because in some ways I've kind of wasted. Well, no, there's things to use strips of fabric like this for. Okay, now this is going to wrap around here just fine. So the first thing I'm going to do is put some glue on this. I just used this as a kind of a background when I was doing some stenciling, but it's going to be covered up. Now, I want to put if you're using a lightweight fabric on this, then this glue may show through. So if you're doing that, you want to spread the glue out. If you're doing it with a darker fabric that's not going to show through, then it's going to work just fine. I do kind of take it and I put it down and I just slide it in place a little bit. And what this does is it does spread out the glue a little bit. Okay, let me pull this a little bit. Turn it over and smooth it. If you've got little bubbles in it, then you just want to spread that out. And now